It is Tuesday night, and we are live once again here in the Zone Racing. Tonight, round number 5 of the County Road Custom Millwork Late Model Challenger. It's the Maconi Setup Shop 125 from Stafford Motor Speedway, and we're ready for some late model racing action. It looks like about 27 drivers with us at this point. And I'm Jeff By Jr., joined by Bill Tomer in the booth. And Bill, we saw some fantastic racing last night in the late model shootout series here at Stafford. You know, this track it's difficult to pass. Things get kind of spread out, but we had some long green flag runs last night.
Yeah, some long green runs, some pretty good racing. A lot of nose to tail racing we saw on the racetrack. A lot of guys getting into each other, a couple chrome bumpers, chrome horns. And this is a whole new crop. I mean, there's a few guys that ran last night, Jeff, but most of these guys did not run the setup last night. So I think it's going to be an exciting night for the Challenger Series.
Yeah, we're seeing a really tight points battle start to take shape here in the Challenger Series. LP Lazier, he's up 7 points right now on Jordan Harnish, and we got some bad news for LP. He had a couple penalties from South Boston, and he's going to have to drop to the rear of the field to start this race. So he's not going to make it easy on himself if he wants to defend that points lead. Jordan Harnish is going to have the advantage to start this race.
Yeah, to the rear, try to get to the front as quickly as he possibly can. It could have point implications, but a long race here, 125 laps. That's a long race here at Stafford Motor Speedway. Half mile. This is a half mile. Do they consider it an actual true half mile?
Yeah, I believe it is considered an actual half mile. Not a lot of banking, though. It's kind of on the flat side.
Yeah, it is a pretty flat racetrack. It is a racetrack that is challenging for drivers to get around. That you will see that during the race, I'm sure. We saw it last night early. But long race for LP Lazier to get back towards the front. I do expect it to happen, so it'll be fun to see how that shakes out at the end of the night.
Crystal Clark in the chat with us. If you're with us on Facebook, make sure you like and share the stream. Leave us a comment. Let us know who you're cheering for tonight.
I'm cheering for myself, Jeff, to be honest. I think I have a really good shot to win this race. No, I'm kidding. I don't really cheer for anyone. I'm going to cheer for you, Jeff.
Well, your pick did beat mine last night, so I will give you that. You had Dylan Bates. I had Daniel
Pope. It doesn't happen very often, does it?
Yeah.
I think usually your picks are better than mine.
But you did beat me last night, so I'm going to have to make a little bit more solid of a pick tonight.
We'll see how things shake out in qualifying. About 20 seconds till we start our qualifying session. Times on the board in practice right now. Ethan Johnson, your fastest driver. Will Dravicki in the 30 machine. He is sitting second. Ryan Dunkelberger third. Luke Baldwin in the 7. He's fourth quick at the moment. Cade Brown fifth quick in the 99. So we are about to go qualifying. And tonight we're going to see some interesting things. There were a lot of penalties handed out after the race last week at South Boston. And tonight, as Jeff would say, we have a laundry list of EOLs to give out. We were joking before the race that Jeff is the Oprah of EOLs tonight. Multiple guys going to the back for issues that happened at South Boston. We did have one suspension, an indefinite suspension of a driver that in his first race decided to crash some cars intentionally, and he is no longer with us. He is still on the earth, however, but no longer at ITZR. So a lot of things going on tonight, and we are set to go qualifying.
Qualifying has begun. These guys are going to have 3 minutes to lay down their 2 best laps. And I'm watching Cade Brown take to the racetrack, and he did not get a great run off turn 4, so he's going to park that car. He's going to try again, start all over. But we're going to start watching these qualifying times come up on the board.
I saw Brad Carpenter do the same thing, Jeff. Got off the floor, didn't like what happened, so he stopped it before he got to the start-finish line. It's something you can do here on the iRacing service. You don't... Actually, Jeff, I've seen it happen in real life. I was at Orange County Speedway last year when somebody got through turns 1 and 2, didn't like what their car felt like all the way down the backstretch, and then turn 3, and he stopped, turned around, came all the way around the racetrack, and turned around and took his lap again. It was crazy.
Yeah, we've seen that happen a few times where guys are able to get at least 1 lap in. We are sitting at about 29 cars at this point, so we might actually need our B mains.
Well, that's probably about as many as we're going to get.
LP Lazier, quick time, and I know he's going to be dropped in the rear of the field, but that is a big deal because he gets those 5 bonus points if this holds up. And if he is quick qualifier, he will get 5 bonus points, and so that is that's a big moment for LP. he's getting the penalty, but 5 bonus points might help him out at the end of the night.
Ethan Johnson currently second quick. Luke Baldwin third. Aaron Johnson, he is in the 4th spot. Jordan Harnish in the 22. He's currently 5th on the board. Delmere 6th. Blake Edwards, he is 7th. And Cade Brown in the catbird seat. The invert tonight, Jeff, is 8 cars. So Cade Brown currently sitting in the 8th position. He'll be starting on the pole if everything shakes out as it is right now.
And unfortunately for him, it looks like Luke Baldwin might have bumped him out of that. So that now put Bladen Edwards in that 8th spot.
Will Dravicki goes faster, so he's going to jump up to 6th. That bumps Delmere's into that 8th spot. So the 112 car now looking at that pole, and I think just about everybody's taking time. So you might be looking at the 112 sitting on the pole this evening.
Yeah, I think we're still waiting on Angel Ortega to turn a lap, but doesn't look like he has done so or intends to do so. I think he might just be starting at the rear of the field tonight.
16 cars went straight to our feature. And like you said, Jeff, 29 cars on the racetrack this evening. We are set to start 26. So 3 cars slated to go home if we decide to be jerks about it.
Well, looks like we are going to have 1 B main. So we are going to consolidate it down into 1 20-lap B main. And that means we would be taking 10 cars out of this B main.
And here's what we're going to do, Jeff. We're going to watch to see how these guys get around the racetrack. If the guys that finish, we are set up, Jeff, so that we can actually accept those 2 drivers that don't make the main event. Sean Hayes in the 1 car was in here in practice. No longer. He's loaded up and gone home. So we only have 2 cars that would be sent home at the moment. So if those guys are able to get around the racetrack and if they're able to keep it clean, they can tag the back of the main. Something we can do. Waiting for Brad Carpenter. He is sitting on the pole for this B main event. He is not in the server yet. He hasn't gridded. So we're just waiting on the 31 car to appear, and we'll go through your starters for this B main event. And as we spoke about it, this probably will just be called the slow dash, because all of these guys will likely make it in the main event.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to have 13 cars grid. Sean Hayes not with us tonight. He's came into the server, did some practice, and then he left. He did not return. So it looks like we're going to have 13 cars in this B main. We were going to take 10 to start, and so we're just waiting on the official call whether we're just going to start all of these guys or we're going to send a couple packing home. It looks like we actually lost Brad Carpenter.
Heartbreak for the 31 car. He has been disconnected from iRacing due to incoming packet loss. So an issue, we'll call it a mechanical issue for the 31 machine that was starting on the pole for the B main. He will not make it tonight. We'll see what happens, but we'll see if Brad can get back in here.
So that's going to move Shane Bedford to the pole, and that's the 71 car. Shane Bedford, he's going to be your leader. Ian Martin, one of those guys chasing the points battle, he is 4th in points. He's going to be in our B main tonight. So not a great qualifying effort for Ian Martin. I know he's been struggling with qualifying, trying to get some speed. Stephen Hassett in the 9 car going to start 3rd. On the outside of him will be the 5 of Thomas Scully the 3rd.
Starting in that 5th position, that's going to be Rusty Arthur in the 2. Been a little bit since we've seen Rusty into his outside. It's going to be Terry Bates, the professor, in the 98 car.
Joshua Ingram in the 56, going to start 5th. Sorry, I'm trying to sort this out with the way this is lining up there as the whole inside row moved forward. The 19 of Kate Green going to start 8th tonight.
Andrew Wamsley going to roll off 9th in the 44 machine. Scott Austin to his outside. Sean Hayes not in the server. Matt Nicholson's going to roll off 12th. I think the last guy in the server, Angel Ortega in the 12 machine. Jeff, we're about to move green flag racing.
So Shane Bedford going to be our leader coming to the green flag. He gets control this start. And they are waiting on this one, and green flag is out. They are going. So Shane Bedford did not get a great restart there.
Race control going to have to take a look at that replay to see what happened on that start. Shane Bedford waited till, well, it was morning, noon, and night, and he did not go. I'm not sure if he went on the green flag. Green flag.
Ooh, Joshua Ingram.
We got a car around in turn 3.
That's the 56 of Ingram. He spun in turn 3. Looks like just a self-spin. Got it way too deep. That car went around. Got the wall a little bit. Mostly kept it off the wall. This is actually going to help the 31 of Brad Carpenter, who was supposed to start on the pole in this race. He was able to rejoin and get back in it. We don't count caution laps here in these B mains, so I think he's going to be on the lead lap.
So just taking a look at that start, Jeff, as that was a really strange start as the 98 Ian Martin was up front and headed forward. Shane Bedford did hold his speed all the way through 3 and 4. The 98 just chose to be a little bit in front of him throughout the corner, and that's kind of to help him get a little bit of a jump, understandable. But Shane waited so long, it's hard to tell when. I'm not sure what she told him in the driver's meeting, but he waited so long, it's hard to tell when that green came out.
So as they were coming to the green, I heard Shane say he was worried about getting a black flag if he was in front of the 98. So I don't think he understood how iRacing, just moves the whole inside row forward. So he actually became the leader. He was being scored the leader under that pace laps, and I just don't think he understood what was going on there. So he was actually trying to stay behind the 98, and it just caused some confusion there coming to the green flag.
So an interesting situation. It looks like all is fair in love and war, as it's Shane Bedford's going to be your leader as we go back to green flag racing, and probably going to be doing that on a single file restart, as these guys did not finish that entire lap. Like you said, Jeff, Brad Carpenter back in this race in the 31 machine, and I think you said it as well, he's going to be on the lead lap in the 31 car, running in 13th.
Yeah, Brad will be back on the lead lap. He got saved by that caution there.
So Shane Bedford going to be your leader in that 71 car. Right behind him, Ian Martin in the 98. Stephen Hassett in the 9. Tom Scully, the 3rd, is in the 5. He is running in the 4th position. I'm sorry, the 5th position. No, actually the 4th position. Sorry. Crazy. Rusty Arthur in the 2. He's in the 5th position. Then Terry Bates, the professor, in the 98, running 6th. Cade Green going to be running 7th in the 19 car. Another number 5 on the track, that's Scott Austin. He's going to be running 8th. Andrew Lamsley, the 44, running 9th. And in the 10 car, Matt Nicholson, that would be your final transfer position. But I believe we will be, as long as these guys are able to keep it clean, we'll be letting them all into the main event. Unfortunately, Josh Ingram not able to keep it clean in that first lap.
Yeah, it looks like we might have lost Angel Ortega. So we are going green flag racing here. Shane Bedford going to lead them to the start-finish line. Single file restart here at Stafford. They did not complete a lap. Ian Martin's going to be all over the back bumper of the 71. So Shane Bedford out front. Ian Martin kind of faded there to turns 1 and 2. Here comes a battle for 3rd. That's Tom Scully, the 3rd, in the 5 car, trying to dive underneath Stephen Hassett. Kind of thought better of it there, but he's still putting the pressure on the 9.
Hassett struggled off of turn 2 that time. Scully looked underneath him going down the backstretch, went into turn 3 and drove to the apron to make sure not to make contact with Hassett in the 9, as Hassett not getting off in turn 2 very well. He's able to slot in behind the 5 car, and now he has a couple of connection issues. We have a couple of connection issues. Scully as well.
Yeah, looks like we lost Scully. He is back, and now Hassett is disappearing on us. So a little trouble there. I think that scared Rusty Arthur. He backed out of it when he saw the 9 car disappear and reappear in front of him.
Up front, Shane Bedford currently leading Ian Martin in the 98 car, Bedford in the 71, the pink machine. He's your leader in this B main. It's only a 20-lap B main, and it is timed, so these guys only have 12 minutes to finish this whole race. You see Ian Martin getting loose off of turn 2.
Ian Martin's in a good spot here in the 2nd position. Really just need to hold on to a transfer spot. Stephen Hassett sideways. He's going to lose the spot to Rusty Arthur. He had to make a big save down the front straightaway. Now they're side by side racing for the 4th position.
Stephen Hassett having issues in that 9 car, feeling a little bit loose right now as he is now under fire from the professor. That's Terry Bates in the 98 car. Cade Green also in the 19. He's going to look under Terry Bates coming off of turn 4. Not able to make that move. And here comes Scott Austin in the 5 and Andrew Wamsley in the 44.
Wamsley has not made a feature event so far this season, and right now he's sitting in the 9th spot. There's a battle for the 10th and final transfer position. Brad Carpenter has just made a move around Angel Ortega, and he's going to take over that final transfer spot.
Ortega way up the racetrack in the 12 machine. Carpenter, we saw his issues. He was supposed to start on the pole in this race. He had issues early, was able to get back on the racetrack, didn't lose a lap because of the early caution and making moves in the 31 cars. Now he's going to look under Wamsley in turn 3.
Battling going on here in the back of the field around this transfer position. Brad Carpenter going to try to put himself one up to the good, and Angel Ortega trying to take away the final transfer from Wamsley. He does so now Wamsley needs to be on the offensive in the 44 car.
So Wamsley in the 44, not able to hold on to that transfer spot. Just behind them, you've got Mac Nicholson in the 10 and Joshua Ingram in the 56. As Nicholson in the wall in the 10 car, Ingram almost making contact. These are guys that are outside looking in. Wamsley, the only guy that's going to put pressure on Ortega. Right now, it looks like the top 10 might be settled unless Wamsley can make it happen.
Yeah, those guys are kind of hoping for something crazy to happen in front of them that they can take advantage of, but they are quite a ways behind the field, kind of having some issues further back, and they're hoping something crazy happens up front in this pack. But right now, Shane Bedford's still your leader. Ian Martin is all over the 71. He's not been very aggressive, though. He's in a transfer position. He doesn't need to push it at this point. He's now got a mirror full of Thomas Scully the third in that 5 car.
Scully trying to make moves. He's trying to get to Ian Martin. Any spot you pick up in this race is going to be a spot you're not going to have to start behind a guy in the main event. So these guys want to be able to make the passes an extra 20 laps to actually gain some more spots. And right now, Thomas Scully going to look to the back of Ian Martin. Look at his bumper. Martin sliding up the racetrack through 1 and 2. Scully not able to make the move to 5.
Almost a little contact further back in the field. Cade Green and Scott Austin are battling hard for the 6th position. Cade got up the racetrack. Scott was able to get underneath them, and then Cade shut the door there. So almost a little contact, maybe close to disaster there, racing for the 7th position.
Unfortunately, looking at the back here, Jeff, it looks like the car is farther back. So Matt Nicholson, Ingram, they are doing a decent job. We'll have to make a decision whether or not we want to let them run the A main. But that'll put a lot of cars on the racetrack, have a lot of traffic for your leaders. So 29 machines?
Yeah, that would be 29 cars if we start those final 3.
Let's leave it up to everybody that's watching in the chat. But we should do that. Up to the fans.
Yeah, we did tell these guys it's top 10, but if everybody in the Facebook chat says let them race, we will let them race tonight. What do you guys think? 29 cars or stick to the 26?
So for second spot, Ian Martin, Tom Scully going to go side by side, maybe make contact entering turn 3. Martin up the racetrack into the wall in turns 3, 4, as he's going to bring it back down. Scully grabs that 2nd position. You
got to think from Ian Martin's perspective, he's probably thinking that wasn't really necessary. He definitely got doored there a bit in turn 3, got up the racetrack, and I just don't think Ian's really pushing the car here. He just wants to bring it home in a transfer spot, make this race. He's got a lot to lose here, sitting 4th in points. He needs to make sure he's in the race.
Yeah, he just has to make sure he transfers in the 98 machine. So he's sitting 3rd in this race. No pressure from the Rusty Arthur machine that's sitting in 4th. Also, Stephen Hassett right there. Big group of cars, Jeff. The top 10 are all kind of stuck together once you get back and find the 4th position. 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. They're all nose to tail.
Yeah, the Professor Terry Bates holding on to that 6th position. Cade Green in 7th. Scott Austin 8th. You got Brad Carpenter back there in the 9th position. Remember, Brad was supposed to start on the pole, had some issues, got bailed out by an early caution, and right now he's looking good to make this feature event.
We have no responses of whether or not we should let them race, Jeff. So we'll assume that means a don't let them race, as we're going to get the white flag.
Ooh, and Tom Scully got up the racetrack here on the white flag lap. Shane Bedford got 1 to go here on the B main. It looks like Ian Martin was able to get around Thomas Scully. So off turn 4, Shane Bedford going to pick up the B main win and move on to the feature event ahead of Ian Martin and Thomas Scully.
So drama there, Jeff. Some excitement. So we are, we didn't get any responses, Jeff. Not one. Not one person typed anything in. So
Rusty Arthur, Stephen Hassett, Terry Bates 6th, Cade Green 7th, Scott Austin 8th, Brad Carpenter 9th, Angel Ortega going to pick up that 10th and final transfer position, move on to the feature event tonight. Those will be your 26 starters in tonight's feature event.
So it is a situation where we didn't get any responses from the fans that are watching. Jeff, currently we have 23 people watching. Nobody decided to answer us. We're hurt. I'm feeling it. I feel emotional about this. But we will start 26 in tonight's main event.
Well, we do have some chats going on earlier on during our B main. My dad's in the house. Tommy Merrifield cheering for Zach Onan. Jeffrey Stafford in the chat. He's waiting to go racing here in a bit. Steiner Motorsports, they were cheering for Joshua Ingram and Matt Nicholson, and that's the Pete Griffith's team. Not with us tonight, but hopefully soon.
Frank
Griffin. Sorry. And
okay.
Becca Weber with us cheering for Super Zach Onan. We'll see him in just a few minutes here in this A main event.
So that was an exciting B main. It was pretty fun. I think everybody enjoyed watching that. Guys did a great job in that race, and we got in all the laps. That doesn't always happen in the B main, so that was a lot of fun. But these guys taking their 2 minutes of warm-ups. The guys that qualified just a little while ago, they had to sit and watch that B main, so we give them an opportunity to get out there, get their rhythm back down, and we'll get ready to go green flag racing here in the Maconi Setup Shop 125. Jeff, Maconi Setup Shop. Amazing website. I spent some more time looking at it today.
Yeah, they have just about anything you could possibly need if you're looking for setups for iRacing. Road racing, dirt, they have asphalt oval stuff, legend car setups. I saw they had some dirt legend stuff now, which is kind of neat. Just all kinds of stuff. If you're looking for a setup at all, and you're not really sure where to look, check out Maconi Setup Shop. They have just about everything you could possibly need.
Yeah, I think not just because they supported us, Jeff, but I think they got a customer because I am blown away by how much is actually over there to purchase to get a setup. If you feel like you're out to lunch, head over to MaconiSetupShop.com, get a setup, go win races. I love their tagline, Jeff. It says, "There are setups, but they're your victories." That's very cool.
Yeah, that is pretty neat. And so we're going to do things a little bit different tonight because I've got a lot of work to do here under these pace laps. Bill is going to go ahead and take the lead on tonight's starting grid. I'm going to join you after we get everybody moved around and sorted out. So, Bill Tomer, go ahead and take it away.
All right, we'll take it as we are lined up at the moment, Jeff. You will see cars dropping to the rear as Jeff gives the EOLs to the people that deserve them from last week. But starting on your pole, it is the 112 car. That is Del Mears. And to his outside in the 22, Jordan Harnish. Starting in third position, the 30 car, Will Dravicki. And to his outside, the 78, that is Aaron Johnson. Last season's second man in points will roll off fifth. That is the 17 car of AJ Rogers. And to his outside in the 7NC, that's Luke Baldwin. Starting seventh, this man has been on a mission all season in the 51 car. Drives a late model stock in real life. That is Ethan Johnson. To his outside, your current point leader and fast time on the evening, but he will be getting an EOL, so we'll be watching this 72 machine. That's LP Lazier. Another 72 also getting an EOL. He was slated to start 9th, but he'll be going to the back. That's Bladen Edwards. Starting 10th in the 99 car, that is Cade Brown. Starting 11th in the 18, Ryan Dunkelberger. And to his outside, starting 12th, Uncle Pete in the 71 machine. That's Peter Fisher. Starting in 13th, the 81 machine, the ravishing one, it's Rick Rube. And to his outside, Super Zach in the 08, that's Zach Onan. Teammate to LP Lazier, the 72 machine, that's Jeff Rivard. And to his outside, another real-life late model stock series driver. I saw him race in South Boston just a few weeks ago. That's Carter Langley. Starting 17th, we just watched him win the B main. That's Shane Bedford in the pink number 71. And to his outside, he lost second place, but was able to make it back up in the 98. That's Ian Martin. Tom Scully will roll off in the 19th position in the 5 car. And to his outside, it's the redneck. That's Rusty Arthur. Starting 21st in the 9 machine, that's Stephen Hassan. To his outside, that's the 98 car, the Professor Terry Bates. Starting 23rd in the 19 machine, it's Cade Green. And to his outside, another number 5, that's Scott Austin. He's made it back from his earlier mechanical issues in the 31 machine, that's Brad Carpenter. And to his outside, starting shotgun on the field, the last transfer man out of the B main, that's Angel Ortega.
Oh, Bill, you did a great job there. I know that's a lot of work. 26 cars strong here for tonight's Maconi Setup Shop 125. Round number 5 of the County Road Custom Millwork Late Model Challenger. Pace cars off the track. Del Mears is going to take us green flag racing 125 laps here at Stafford.
Mears waiting. He's on the loud pedal early. Gets a nice jump on the 22 of Jordan Harnish. Harnish going to have room to slot in front of Will Dravicki in third. The first battle on the racetrack is going to be Aaron Johnson versus AJ Rogers, and we're early yellow.
Ooh, and Tom Scully is involved. I see Terry Bates up the racetrack. He was kind of up in the air there in the 98 car. It looks like it started right around Shane Bedford. It looks like Shane might have just got hit going into turn 1.
That is a wreck between... Oh, your B main drivers. Bedford off the gas early, trying not to get it. Well, basically just trying not to drive it in super hard. Tom Scully didn't get the memo. He piled into the back of the 71 machine. We'll just have to take a look at that. Surprise, Scully.
We get a kind of an onboard there of Scully. That might be the best.
Oh boy. Yeah, it just looks like Scully did not get on the brakes, Jeff. In fact, Scully goes all the way up after hitting them. Well, he gets hit. Then ends up getting in the outside wall, but a bunch of cars collected in that. Angel Ortega in the 12. You've got Scott Austin in the 5. The Professor, Terry Bates in the 98. He ended up in the air, like you said. Stephen Hassett in the 9. He's got a bunch of damage. A lot of these guys are gonna have to go on pit lane try to fix these race cars. So we got a couple of cars. We're going to have to do some maintenance here. So we got a couple of cars that were caught behind the pace cars. They were trying not to get in the way of our leaders. You see, we are waving those cars around the pace cars so they get an opportunity to catch back up to the field. We do that early here so there's no confusion. These guys, they would get a wave by before the green flag came out on the next restart, but then they would have a very little amount of time to be able to catch the back of the field. So it would be kind of strung out, kind of unfair to them, so we make sure we get those guys by the pace car early.
Well, we also want to make sure these guys get a chance to make a pit stop too and repair some damage. I know a lot of them have some torn up race cars. If they pitted from where they were stuck behind the pace car, they'd automatically lose a lap. So we want to make sure we make it fair for them to get around and try to repair some of that damage they have.
So we see race control not making a call on that current yellow. And there it is. The call is that the fault was on the 5 car for getting into the back of the 71. Tom Scully III going to go to the back of the field with an EOL. Unfortunately, on lap 1, turn 1, not the place you want to try to win the race.
Yeah, just early on, lap 1, we did tell these guys, this setup is very loose to start, and we told everybody you're going to need to be careful this first couple laps. And unfortunately, some guys just went a little too hard into turn 1 and ended up taking out some drivers early on. So Del Mears is going to take us back to green flag racing. We did not complete a lap, so it'll be single file now as Del Mears gets control to start. Jordan Harnish behind him, and Mears is off and racing, and we are back to green flag here in the Maconi Setup Shop 125.
Del Mears going early, but does not get a great run down the front straightaway. That was odd by the 112 car, just didn't get off in turn 4. So Jordan Harnish putting all kinds of pressure on your leader. Everybody doing a really good job. He went so early, Jeff. I was a little bit concerned that these guys would kind of slide the tires to the corner, but green so far, so everybody's doing a nice job.
See Harnish get a little sideways there off turn 4. He seems to be struggling a bit with that car. I think snapped sideways on him on the exit and lost a little bit of ground there to Del Mears.
Everybody's single file at the moment. That's how they started. That's how they remain. Nobody able to put a move on anyone else. They are going to be single file throughout the field. Like you said, Jeff, Harnish not able to put the pressure, not able to quite get to the 112 car as he dove it in there in turn 1, not able to make the move.
Yeah, Harnish, that car just seems to be a little bit looser for him than Del's car. And you can see they're kind of running a little bit different line. It looks like Del's moving up off the bottom of the racetrack a little bit more. He's not holding that car straight to the white line. And I think that's helping his exit speed a little bit more than Harnish. And now the caution waves here on lap 9. Looks like Rusty Arthur is around in turn 3 and 4.
Let's take a look and see what happened in the 2 car. Oh, this looks like, what's that song, Jeff?
All by myself?
All by myself.
Yeah, unfortunately, Rusty got turned around there. He was running towards the rear of the field, had some damage already from that previous incident there on lap 1, and just not feeling the handling of that car. Got in a little deep, and she started to go around, and nothing he could do. Angel Ortega able to avoid him.
Yeah, Rusty did a nice job in that B main, getting around and finishing 4th in the B main, but a lot of damage in that early incident. You can see that 2 car was quite smashed up in the front end, probably not driving like you wanted it to, and just looped her around in 3 and 4.
So we are under caution here on lap 11, our second caution of this race, and they had a pretty good green flag run there. Everybody, that single file restart really kind of spread everybody out there before that self spin, and so now we're going to go double file, and now it's going to be a battle for everybody trying to get back to the bottom of the racetrack.
So 12 laps into this race, Jeff. 112 out front, 22 of Jordan Harnish. He is going to be running second. Will Dravicki running third in the 30 machine. Aaron Johnson in the 78. He'll be running fourth. AJ Rogers in the 17. We see AJ do this all the time, Jeff. It seems like when the money's on the line, when the pressure starts to pick up, the season goes on. The 17 just seems to get better.
Yeah, AJ is just always there in the mix, and he's very, very consistent. Finished second in points last season to Caden Fisher, who's moved up to the late model shootout series. AJ doing double duty this season. He's running both the late model shootout series and the Challenger series. And Aaron Johnson having a bounce back week as well. He really struggled at South Boston. Was in the B main in both the late model shootout series and the Challenger series, and now he's seems to be liking Stafford a lot more. Currently running fourth tonight.
Looking a little farther back, Luke Baldwin, newcomer to the series, but he has been Mr. Consistency all season long, having a really good season in the 7 NC. Right behind him, Ethan Johnson in the 51, Cade Brown in the 99. And remember, folks, we did have an 8-car invert, so the guys that are running towards the back of the top 10, those are your fast guys in qualifying, so we'll have to keep an eye on how those guys move forward. Ryan Dunkelberger running in the 9th position, and the ravishing one in the 81 car slotted in 10th right now. Just behind him, Peter Fisher in the 11th position. Sorry, he's in the 71. 72 of Jeffrey Bard's going to be running 12th. Super Zach Moden in the 08 running 13th. Ian Martin straight out of the B main. He's running 14th on the 98 machine. And then behind him, the 5-car Carter Langley. Taking a look back to our points leader, he is running 17th after his EOL to start the race. So it's moving forward.
So pace car is off the racetrack, and we're going back to green flag racing. Del Mears, Jordan Harnish on that front row, and this is going to be interesting. Jordan's going to need to get to the inside line as quickly as possible, and it looks like Will Dravicki might have left him a hole if he's able to slot in behind Del Mears, but he's not going to do it yet, and now AJ Rogers is spinning in turn 1.
Oh, AJ Rogers is going to get tagged. He did spin right in front of the field, and we've got a big wreck in turn 1. Let's see what happened to AJ.
Looks like some contact from Ethan Johnson behind. Similar deal we saw with the 5-car. He just gets in there a little too hard on the entry of turn 1 and turns around the 17.
Yeah, just look like Ethan Johnson just gets in there a little too hard. Just trying to take a look to see if anything was happening with AJ. No, he's just entering the corner. Ethan just getting a little bit harder. Maybe felt a little more comfortable with the 51 machine. Yeah. But we do have a saying around here, Jeff.
Yeah, it's a C car don't hit car, and we say it every week, and they still continue to hit the cars.
Unfortunately, bunch of cars piled in now, and Peter Fisher caught it as well. Shane Bedford, another 71 car, got caught in it, and then Angel Ortega got into it late in the 12 machine.
Ethan Johnson going to go to the rear of the field for that contact. Ethan has won 2 races this season, so this is going to be a struggle for Ethan. Have to go to the rear of the field and have to come forward. Ethan was last week's winner at South Boston. Also, I believe he won a race at USA. Actually, take that back. He won at Iowa. So Iowa and South Boston wins for Ethan Johnson this season. We do have one car out of the race currently. That's Rusty Arthur. He's going to come home 26th tonight. And Shane Bedford running 25th. I believe he's still... actually, he is in the pits currently. I think he's repairing some damage. Possibly might be out of this race, but looks like maybe going to try to repair some damage. He is now 2 laps down. So rough start of the night for Shane Bedford.
We do have the lucky dogs of he's the only car that's laps down. He can get those laps back, so it might behoove him to go in and get that damage repaired.
Yeah, I think Shane's still sitting there on pit road as the pace car is going to head off the racetrack. Delmere is going to take us back. Green flag racing. Delmere is in the 112. Gets to control this restart, and he got a great one there. He's going to get about a car length, 2 car lengths on Jordan Harnish. So a great restart for Delmere's.
Not a bad restart for Jordan Harnish either, as he was able to gap the 30 car Will Dravicki. Aaron Johnson right on Dravicki's rear end. Luke Baldwin right there in the 7NC machine, and they are able to gap Cade Brown right away. So a couple guys not getting great restarts, but single file as we're going to complete the first lap of green.
Tom Scully on the move. He's getting around Terry Bates. That's a battle for the 17th position. Tom Scully taking advantage early on that restart. He's going to move up a spot. On a single file throughout the field there, that really kind of spread them out. Delmere still your leader. Jordan Harnish in the 2nd spot. Will Dravicki 3rd. Aaron Johnson 4th. And Luke Baldwin up to the 5th spot now.
For all you Shane Bedford fans, he is back out on the racetrack, so he was fixing as much as he possibly could in that 71 machine, but he is currently 3 laps down. AJ Rogers takes a spot from Terry Bates. That's going to be for the 18th spot, 17 car moving forward after spinning on that last incident. Ethan Johnson as well. He's up to 22nd already in the 51 machine as he was able to get by the 12 of Angel Ortega. I'm going to try to put pressure on Peter Fisher.
I've been watching LP Lazier. He's up to the 13th position. Remember, he had to go to the rear of the field at the start of this race. Started about 25th, I believe. And he is up to the 13th position. So he is making moves to the field early on. He's getting himself in a fighting chance here. He might be at the front towards the end of this one. Looks like we might have lost Cade Green there. He's headed down the access road. I think he might be looking for the pit lane.
He is on the apron in turn 3 at the moment. He's rolling slow, getting on the pit road now in the 19. Doesn't look like he has a lot of damage on the 19 car. We're watching him drive down pit lane. Something going on with him on the racetrack, though. We've got cars battling. Cade Green's going to roll through the pits.
Jordan Harnish starting to put a lot of pressure on Delmere for that race lead. And you see Harnish really kind of using the apron right now, keeping that car much lower on the racetrack than Dell is. Dell kind of swinging those corners out, getting big runs down the straightaway, and Harnish keeping that car pinned on the apron, and just 2 different driving styles, and they're working well for both of them.
We just had an issue on the racetrack, Jeff. No yellow. Ethan Johnson got into the back of Terry Bates in the 98 car, turned Terry sideways, but then did the nice thing, hit him in the left front corner and turned it back around.
Ooh, now Stephen Hassett is going to spin in turn 4, and the caution is going to wave. Stephen Hassett in the 9 around.
Looks like another bent race car in the 9. Hassett just goes into turn 3 and it starts to loop on him, and he just turns it up. Unfortunately, makes contact with the outside barrier, so that will be on the 9 car of Stephen Hassett. Back in the yellow.
So caution on lap 30.
taking a look to see what went on with Hassett. Hassett's getting waved around the pace cars. He had to wait for the leaders to get by him. He got lapped by the pace car, so he's going to jump back on the lead lap in the 9 machine. A couple cars driving down pit lane. They're going to be repairing some damage at 12 of Angel Ortega. He is on the pit lane, as well as the 71 of Peter Fisher.
So Stephen Hassett, I'm looking at the replay, and just a self-spin. He actually almost saved it, and that car overcorrected, went into the wall. So just a self-spin there on the 9. Some guys still just kind of struggling with the looseness of the setup early on.
Cade Green, you're going to see him go by the leaders, as he is going to be your lucky dog. We saw him have the issue, ended up on the access road on the back straightaway, went down through the pits not to get in anybody's way. And the process lost a lap, so he'll be back on the lead lap in the 19 machine.
Cade Green back on the lead lap in the 24th position. Actually, I think Stephen Hassett's going to come down pit road, so they'll move Cade up a spot as well, so up to the 23rd spot. Still 24 cars on the lead lap. Looks like Shane Bedford's still out there. Looks like Rusty Arthur came back out on the racetrack as well, so he's out there. He's 22 laps down. He's going to just get some track time and try to finish this race out.
And you also hope that maybe guys will park their race cars and you'll gain a couple points, because it means a whole lot.
Yeah, I definitely just want to pick up as many points as you can. And Rusty just going to continue on there, and we'll still have 26 race cars on the racetrack. So I believe we're going to get the one to go this time for Del Mears. And we'll see the pace truck lights go out, and they do. So it's going to be a double file restart. Del Mears, Jordan Harnish in that first row. Will Dravicki, Aaron Johnson in the second, and Luke Baldwin and Cade Brown back there in that third row. Rick Rube having a heck of a run. He's up to 7th now. That's Ryan Dunkelberger in the 18 on the outside of the 81 in the 8th position. Jeff Rivard up to 9th, and Ian Martin from the B main already up to the 10th position.
So the pace truck leaves the track. Del Mears going to control this restart. We watched it multiple times. He's dueling Jordan Harnish on these restarts. He gets a good restart once again, but Harnish getting a good restart as well, as he's going to be side by side with Mears heading into 1, and he'll dive down to the bottom and try to get behind him.
Harnish going to try to slot behind Del Mears. Will Dravicki was there for a long time, and Harnish had to kind of run the outside line for quite a while there. He finally gets back into line, and they are single file. And now Aaron Johnson sideways off 4. He's going to collect Cade Brown, but we are staying green. They are way off the racetrack, and they need to get going because we are still green flag racing.
No yellow as those cars have left the racetrack. They need to get moving in the 99 and the 78 machine. So Cade Brown, he's going to try to get on off of pit lane.
The Del Mears still your leader. We're going to catch a replay here of what happened there with the 99. Just kind of the victim there. It looked like Aaron just got sideways off turn 4. He tried to save that car, chased it down the racetrack, and unfortunately, Cade Brown was right there.
Mayhem on the racetrack, affecting some of the cars that were running towards the front. Cade Brown disappointed. We're listening to the driver's channel, Jeff. He was hoping for a yellow, but those cars had cleared and they were not in the way of any other cars. So yellow, the flagman did not throw it, probably correctly as well, Jeff.
We got that off for the lead.
Kind of danger.
Harnish around Del Mears. Mears got up the racetrack into turn 1. Jordan Harnish to the race lead, and now the caution is going to wave.
Brad Carpenter in turn 1 looked like he got turned. Tom Scully into it. Angel Ortega once again. Let's take a look to see what happened in the 31 machine.
It looks like AJ Rogers tried to pass the 31, and they got together in turn 1.
Unfortunately, I'm not sure AJ ever really had a move there. Just dove it into turn 1, got into the rear end.
Yeah, I think the 31 got the wall down the front straightaway. I think AJ tried to take advantage of that, maybe thinking the 31 was off the pace. The 31 just kind of comes down the racetrack. AJ's taking a peek.
Yeah, I just don't see anything there, Jeff, that Brad Carpenter wouldn't have thought that he could just go down into turn 1 there. AJ was not side by side with him as they were heading down the straightaway. I think AJ hoped that he knew that he got into the wall, but AJ was coming from about a half a car length to a car length back and just never got to the 31 until they got into the corner.
Yeah, I think sometimes when you see the guy hit the wall, your instinct is to take advantage. You think they're going to be off the pace a bit. And AJ, he tried to take advantage, and he just wasn't quite close enough to be there into turn 1 yet.
Unfortunately, the 31 Brad Carpenter ended up sideways in turn 1. Tom Scully not able to avoid, piles into the left front of the 31 car. Big damage on the 31 as a result. AJ Rogers going to get sent to the rear by race control. Peter Fisher also, and Angel Ortega all piled into that wreck. It is tough to see through the A-pillars of these race cars, and you can see that as those guys just not able to see the cars sitting in the track. It's just there's no vision in these super late models. You can see that as they piled into that wreck.
I will say I think that caution might have helped Del Mears there. He was caught on the outside as Jordan Harnish got around him for the lead. We saw it last night in the late model shootout series when guys got stuck on the outside up in the top 10, they fell deep into the field, and I think Del Mears, that caution might have bailed him out. I think Will Jervicki was there to start shuffling Del back through the field, so caution's going to keep the 112 up in the second spot for the time being.
Yeah, definitely a benefit to the 112 car. I wish I would get some of the, some benefits like that from time to time, but Del Mears, hopefully he'll be able to slot in. We've seen the car on the outside of the front row able to slot in front of the third place car in just about every restart, so hopefully he can do that as they're about to go green flag racing.
Yeah, pace car lights are off. I just saw some cars come down. Saw Tom Scully and Peter Fisher coming out of the pits there, so getting some damage repaired there. I think they got a little piece of that wreck as Brad Carpenter spun around, so some guys trying to get back in this race. Lap 45 here, and Jordan Harnish going to take his green flag racing once again. His first time as the leader.
Harnish, your new leader, the first time he's taken the green flag, and he's going to get a fantastic start in the 22 machine as Del Mears did not get a good start in the 112. Will Jervicki going to look to the inside of Mears, and here comes Luke Baldwin, and we are going to wreck in turn 1 on a restart once again.
Aaron Johnson around. And honestly, I'm looking at that one, and I think Aaron might have came down the racetrack trying to get to the inside, and Terry Bates was just there, and it just was not clear for the 78.
Taking a look at the replay. Oh boy, Aaron Johnson just tried to go to the bottom. That, I believe those are teammates. I think Terry Bates is part of Aaron Johnson's team, so that is unfortunate. Those guys got together. Aaron Johnson ends up in the wall.
Yeah, I think Aaron maybe he thought Terry was going to cut him a break there. Maybe he thought, oh, that's my teammate, he's going to let me in, and it just wasn't quite clear when they got to turn 1.
So we've got a couple of cars caught behind the pace truck. Looks like Tom Scully and Aaron Johnson are going to need waves. You'll see those guys get waved by the pace truck, and they're going to be back on that. Well, they were on that lead lap. They were just trapped behind the pace truck. Once again, Jordan Harnish, your leader, but there was a change, Jeff. We only made it through one corner, but Will Jervicki was able to wrestle that second position away from Del Mears in the 112 machine. So Will Jervicki going to be to the outside. Actually, we're going to have a
single file. Yeah.
So he's going to be in a really nice position as he's going to be right behind your leader, Jordan Harnish. Del Mears going to be running third with Luke Baldwin in the 7 machine. He'll be running fourth. Ryan Dunkelberger, great race for the 18 machine. So he's running fifth. Rick Rue, we talked about it earlier. He's in the 6th spot in the 81. Jeff Rivard in the 72 in the 7th position, and LP Lazier, that's Rivard's teammate. Lazier had to start with an EOL. He is your points leader and was your quick time on the evening and had to start all the way in the back, and people think you can't come from the back and keep that car clean. LP Lazier doing it right now as he's up to 8th.
So it looks like we are going to go back to green flag racing here. Lap 51 when they cross the line. Going to be a single file restart for Jordan Harnish. Let's see if Will Dravicki's able to keep pace with them. And Harnish going to go a little bit earlier, mixing it up this time. And he is checked out on Will Dravicki.
Wow, all the way to the apron. Harnish knew when he wanted to go, and he did a fantastic job getting away from the 30 car Will Dravicki. That's going to be nose to tail, second, third, and fourth there. Knuckleberger dropping off just a little bit. We're going to be single file all the way through turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, and him taking off early on, that really spread the field out. So looks like we're probably going to have a nice green flag run here because these guys really got separated on that restart.
Well, we've seen that before, Jeff, and then we get one of those magical self-spins where
yes.
someone just drives into the corner too hard and loops it, so we don't want to see that. But Del Mears looking to put some pressure on Will Dravicki. Dravicki trying to get away from Baldwin there as well. Take a look back, LP Lazier not able to make the move on his teammate Jeff Rivard, so he's still going to be sitting in 8th. And really close racing there is Ethan Johnson in the 51 machine. He's making his way forward. Woo, he gets a little sideways off of turn 2 as he's up in 10th.
He's up in the 08 as Zach Rionen. See for Zach there running in the 9th position. Zach had a great run going last night in the late model shootout series. Got involved in a late accident, kind of took a top 10 away from him. He was really frustrated, but it seems like he's really enjoying Stafford. He seems to have a lot of pace here.
Another guy we haven't talked about a whole lot tonight, running 11th is 72, former Late Model Challenge Series champion. That's Bladen Edwards in that 72 machine. I think Bladen has a different race car every single week, Jeff. I think it's a different paint scheme. I don't know if he spends a lot of time racing or a lot of time painting, but that 72 is a little bit different every week.
Yeah, I think Bladen he's all over. He runs in a variety of leagues and different races, and I think he just has a whole lot of paint schemes in the tank because he's racing almost every night. And now LP Lazier underneath Jeff Rivard, he's going to take over that spot from his teammate there in the 72. He's going to bring along Ethan Johnson as well. So LP up to 7th. Ethan trying to take away the 8th spot from Rivard, and Rivard's going to slot in line in front of Zach Rionen.
That certainly looked like a, hey buddy, the 51's coming, can you let me go type of move there as Rivard just drove up the racetrack, let LP Lazier go. Is Ethan Johnson going to put pressure on your points leader? I do think Rivard probably got the team orders and said, hey man, I'm a little quicker, can I go by? And Rivard just drove up the racetrack, let his teammate go.
Well, that's very nice of the teammates there, but he's going to lose the spot to Ethan Johnson in the process. So Rivard back into the 9th position ahead of Zach Rioden, running 10th right now. We got Bladen Edwards back there in the 11th spot, so Bladen trying to work his way forward as well. Remember, he had an EOL to start this race as well, so he started deep tonight. I think he started 26th.
And some of these drivers do pull double duty. There are just a few tonight, Jeff. Rick Rubin, the 81 machine, he ran last night in the late model shootout series, so he's been on this setup for quite a few laps now. Also, Super Zach Oden in the 08 car, he was on this setup last night. We do release the setup for these guys on our Discord channel if they want to pick it up and do practice laps with it. But those guys definitely have a ton of laps already put in at Stafford this week.
Back up front, Jordan Harnish has stretched his lead to almost 1 full second over Will Dravicki. And Jordan in that 22 car. New paint scheme for the 22 as well. And it looks like he's got a new team there, joined the academy, it looks like. So Jordan Harnish, he's having a great season, 2nd in points. He's been extremely consistent, has led a lot of laps this season. Hasn't found a win, but he's trying to do it tonight as they're about to cross the line about halfway here in the Maconi Setup Shop 125.
And Jordan Harnish looking fantastic in that 72 machine. Neat looking race car. All you Terry Bates fans, the professor has loaded up the 98 machine and has left the building. So unfortunately, Terry Bates not having the night he wanted to have in the 98 car. We watched Jordan Harnish. He is gapping in the field at the moment as he's got a 0.955 second lap. It's that lap, Will Dravicki just a little bit quicker.
As we just get past our halfway point, it'll be interesting to see how much these guys are saving tires or how hard they're actually pushing it. With Will kind of watching the 22 drive away on that restart, it might be a situation where he just wants to save tires at this point. He didn't really keep pace with the 22 on this start, so maybe he's just riding. He's going to save tires, hope for a long green flag run.
And a pass from the 10th position, Jeff Bladen Edwards was able to get by the 08 of Super Zach Oden. Oden back to 11th, Edwards up to 10th. Like you said, he started in the back with an EOL, so Edwards moving forward. He's trying to follow that 51 machine and that 72 machine forward. Former series champion in the 72 car, all the way up to 10th.
see Peter Fisher making a move on Brad Carpenter. He's going to bring along Aaron Johnson, so that's a battle for 17th. A little bit further back in the field, Cade Brown's actually going to get around Brad Carpenter as well, so Carpenter was going to lose 3 spots there. Racing further back in the field, he's got a lot of damage on that 31, kind of struggling along with a pretty torn up race car.
Cade Brown struggling on that 99 car. He had a really nice run going earlier as he made contact with the 78 Aaron Johnson. They slid to the infield. You remember Cade Brown was asking for a yellow at that time. We do not do that here at In the Zone Racing. We let iRacing throw all the yellows, make sure they're all natural so that nobody gets any kind of preferential treatment. So Cade Brown had to slide back and now trying to make his way forward up to 19th in the 99 machine.
Ethan Johnson on his way forward as well. He just got past LP Lazier, so move Ethan Johnson up to the 7th spot. They're putting Rusty Arthur a lap down there as they work through lap traffic. Jeffrey Rivard still back there in the 9th spot behind LP.
Shout out to Scott Austin in the 5 machine, currently running 12th, battling right now on the racetrack with the 98 of Ian Martin, 12th and 13th, and then 14th AJ Rogers. Ian Martin and Scott Austin both having a good run tonight at Stafford as they both came out of the B-main event.
AJ Rogers trying to get his way forward. Remember, we just saw him have to go to the rear of the field for some contact. And now he's battling with Ian Martin. Martin sideways going to hold on to a big save from the 98 car, and he holds on.
Up front, Jordan Harnish continues to lead Will Dravicki, but Dravicki slowly chipping away as he's got the lead down to 0.88 seconds. He's gaining just a tiny bit every single lap on the 22 machine, but right behind him, Luke Baldwin also stalking the 30 car as he is right there as well. That time Dravicki lost a little bit of time to Harnish. We'll have to see, Jeff. We talked about it last night. These guys are getting some green runs now, and tires will become a problem for some of these guys if they're driving it too hard.
Battle for 6 as Ethan Johnson inside Rick Rube. He's going to take away that 6th position. He's going to bring LP Lazier with him. So Rube is stuck on the outside. He's going to lose 2 spots there. Slot back into the 8th position. LP up to 7th.
Rube falling back a couple spots back to 8th. You see Jeffrey Vard now looking to put pressure on the 81 of Rick Rube. Ethan Johnson, man on a mission in the 51 machine, was sent back to the rear of the field earlier. So he got more of a natural EOL, not an EOL to start, and he is flying in that 51 machine as he's all the way up to the 6th spot.
Saw Cade Green just make a move on Ian Martin. I think Martin's, and Green just got sideways down the back straightaway. Ian Martin had to check up for him. That 98 car, he got loose a couple laps ago, and I think he's just been struggling with that right rear tire. Once you slide it in this car, it can become a real handful. Right now, the 98 and 19 kind of struggling with looseness.
Your leader starting to work through traffic as they put a lap on the 5 car of Thomas Scully. Scully going to go a lap down as he's sliding that number 5. That car's definitely not handling well. As you can see, he is sliding all over the place in the 5 as he almost makes contact with the 3rd place running car of Luke Baldwin. Baldwin able to clear him going down into turn 3. A little bit of danger for your leaders as the 5 car of Scully struggling with the loose race car.
Scully running in the 22nd position. He's going to be the first car a lap down for the time being, but Stephen Hassett running 21st. He'll be the next car to go a lap down here in just a few laps. So right now, Scully's needing a yellow, and he is very, very loose. He might end up being the yellow himself.
Yeah, he is wheeling that machine, not really gaining a tremendous amount of speed, driving it that hard as he is sideways in turn 1, almost wrecks the 5 machine, and now he's sideways again. Keeps it straight, boy. That had to scare some of your lead lap cars as Dunkelberger able to make the pass in the 18. I see Del Mears driving the bottom, but we go yellow. We'll have to find out where that happened.
So it looks like Ian Martin, the 98 car, has gone around. We talked about Ian just struggling with the looseness of that car as well. And maybe some contact with Aaron Johnson in turn 1.
It looked like Aaron did get inside the 98 entering turn 1. It looks like Ian Martin kind of just missed the corner as Aaron was all the way to the door as they entered turn 1.
Yeah, and I think from Aaron's perspective, he thought the 98 was letting him go. Ian kind of ran high into the corner, left the inside open. Aaron took advantage, and then Ian tried to shut the door at the last second. And not much the 78 of Aaron Johnson could have done in that situation.
And that one baffles me a little bit, Jeff. It looks like Ian Martin just doesn't get down the straightaway and then stops really early. But you can see Aaron Johnson all the way to his literally all the way to his door before they made contact. So, and from different angles, it kind of looks like a dive bomb a little bit. But at that point, I just kind of go, maybe that's just more of a racing deal.
Yeah, I definitely don't think there's anything Aaron Johnson really could have done differently there. Watching from his perspective, it really just looks like the 98's saying, "Go ahead, go by me. You're faster." And when he tried to go by, the 98 started to come down into the corner.
So unfortunate for the 98 cars, he ended up backing it into the fence, and he will drop a bunch of positions as he's going to fall all the way back to the 20th spot. He was running right around that 15th position, so losing 5 spots in the 98 machine. Aaron Johnson, no worse for wear. Didn't look like he picked up much damage on that right front. Ian Martin, if I get it correctly. Say it correctly. He is on pit lane and now rolling off as Brad Carpenter, and Tom Scully all trying to fix some damage on their battered race cars.
So while I'm looking at the chat here, we had that long green flag run. I didn't get to check in on you guys. Jeff By cheering for the 30 of Will Jervicki. Eric Dickman cheering for Super Zach. Daniel Sweat here cheering for Rick Rube. It is Ruby Tuesday. Devin Rogers here cheering for the Rev Racing team drivers. Emily here for Super Zach. And then Eric Dickman wanted to know if iRacing's ever going to get Sleaner Speedway, and we can only hope, Eric. That would be a really fun track.
You know, I think that Ruby Tuesday just made me hungry, Jeff. I'm very upset with you.
So if you are with us on Facebook right now, make sure you like and share the stream. Leave us a comment. Let us know who you're cheering for here down the stretch. We're going to have a restart here. It looks like we're going to go green on lap 83 of 125. So well into this one now, and we're starting to get into that part of the race where Bill likes to drop one of his lines.
Yes, it is. I believe the price of poker's going up, Jeff. We need the graphic. Ching, 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 ching. But this is about to ramp up, and we're going to see some hard racing from here on out.
And Jordan Harnish going to take his green flag racing again. He got a great restart over Will Jervicki. Oh, now contact with Jervicki and Luke Baldwin. Baldwin is upside down. And that is a devastating one for Luke Baldwin. He was just about to take over second, and now he ends up on his roof down the front straightaway.
Holy cow.
Man, coming off turn 4, looks like Jervicki maybe almost hit the wall.
Oh, he just drives down into the door of the 7 car. Luke Baldwin flips, gets collected by other cars. It just looks like Jervicki got loose and drove down into the door of the 7 machine. Jervicki, oh my gosh, he's upside down as well as he's turtled entering turn 1. I wonder if that 30 car ever, it did flip back on its wheels. Wow. Absolute drama in the top 5. Get on board Brad Carpenter and see what he saw from the 31 machine. It's going to be pretty exciting as you see cars upside down in front of him. He is on the binders as you see those guys have landed by the time he got there, but holy cow. I actually saw that in real life one time, and it is not a good feeling to see a car flipping in front of you. But absolute mayhem at the front of the field. Looked like a guy just got on the gas a little too hard and collects a bunch of cars that have been having a fantastic race. Luke Baldwin, Will Jervicki, 2 guys that were up front in your top 5 all night long. They're going to be starting in the back of the field now as they were upside down and backwards and just absolutely out of control. And a lot of cars wrecked in that field, or in that incident. That was a big one.
Yeah, that collected a lot of cars. LP Lazier, who had fought his way up into, I believe, the 7th position, he was caught up in that. So trouble for our points leader, caught up in a wreck. He's back into the 18th position. A lot of damage on the 72. A lot of cars on our top 5 involved in that one. The guys that made it out of it, Del Mears, he moved back up into the 2nd spot. Ryan Dunkelberger up to 3rd. Ethan Johnson 4th. Jeff Rivard missed that whole thing. He's up into the 5th position. Rick Rube up to 6th. Zachary Oden 7th. Bladen Edwards 8th. AJ Rogers 9th. And Scott Austin up to the 10th position.
Eric Dickman in the chat, Jeff, says single file restarts only. He's almost swaying me.
Wow,
almost.
That would not be a popular decision with the drivers. Every time we go single file, we hear about it. So these guys, These guys, they do not like those single file restarts.
We are going to get a single file restart here as they wrecked going into turn 1 on, actually, I'm sorry, coming off of turn 4 on the restart. So we will be single file restart this time. Hopefully we get some green flag laps as a result. But Jeff ran down to your top 10 and a lot of wrecked race cars, and there are going to be cars moving forward, Jeff. I feel like the price of poker is through the roof and possibly danger of Will Robinson.
Yeah, this really mixed up the field here. Pace cars off the racetrack. Jordan Harnish taking us back to green flag racing. Del Mears in second. Ryan Dunkelberger third. See a little damage to the 18.
Harnish with a good run into turn 1. Del Mears up the racetrack just a little bit. Dunkelberger looking to put pressure on the 112 right behind them. Ethan Johnson, we've talked about how he is a man on a mission all over the 18 at Dunkelberger's to enter turn 3 right behind them. Jeffrey Bard, a little bit of a gap. He's got a gap between him, Ethan Johnson, and Rick Rube. Rube running second. Super Zach Onan there in 7th. Bladen Edwards almost into the bumper of Onan as they enter turn 1. There's a lot of pressure from Edwards on Super Zach Onan. Onan had given up a spot to Edwards earlier in the race to let him go, knowing that he was a little bit quicker. With the price of poker being through the roof, I'm not going to see that 0-8 move over this time.
So Jordan Harnish out front. Del Mears kind of falling behind the 22, holding on to that second spot. He has got the 18 behind him. That's Ryan Dunkelberger trying to find a way around Del Mears and trying to chase down our leader. Jordan Harnish behind him. Ethan Johnson on the move. And Ethan, he was really quick tonight. Started 7th, second fast time, and now the caution's going to wave. We got trouble. I think Cade Green was around, but I don't know if that was the cause of the caution. Actually, it looks like it might have started with Brad Carpenter and Luke Baldwin.
Wow, Cade Green immediately cleared for some reason.
We had an incident with the 31 and the 7 in turn 3. Yeah. We're seeing Cade down in the grass. The green lights were still on. Then there was contact between the 31 and the 7.
It's tough to call. We're trying to figure out what the session threw the yellow for. It says the caution came out for the 19 of Cade Green, which is odd that the iRacing would pop that for that driver as he had slid down in the grass. We've seen that happen before and there was no yellow. This time, yellow came out for the 19 car as he slid into the infield. And then after that, Brad Carpenter, the 31 car, was tagged by Luke Baldwin going through 3 and 4.
Yeah, hard to sort that one out. It looked like Cade was down on pit road almost. So we are under caution here on lap 95. Coming to 30 to go here as they cross the line. Jordan Harnish still your leader. Del Mears second. Ryan Dunkelberger third. Ian Johnson. Jeff Rivard. Rick Rube sixth. Zachary Oden seventh. Bladen Edwards in that 8th position. AJ Rogers 9th. And Scott Austin holding on to 10th at the moment. You got Carter Langley back there in 11th. Aaron Johnson 12th. Cade Brown 13th. Peter Fisher 14th. Stephen Hassett 15th. LP Lazier 16th. And then further back, Luke Baldwin in the 17th position, Ian Martin 18th, Tom Scully back on the lead lap in 19th. And then we'll have Cade Green in 20th. Leave just 21 cars in the lead lap.
Yeah, after starting 26, Jeff, not terrible, but we haven't had the green flag runs like we did last night where we saw a lot of cars go lap down under green flag racing. We've had a couple decent green flag runs, but a lot of mayhem on the racetrack tonight. We've seen a lot of things happen and big enough wrecks that it caught some cars that are faster than other cars behind, and it's difficult to move forward on at the Stafford Motor Speedway. It's just difficult to pass.
Yeah, it is tough to pass here, and so things start to get spread out. And you get caught behind guys, but pace car is going off the racetrack. Jordan Harnish back to the race lead, and he got a great restart once again. We've seen him get great restarts all night long.
Ryan Dunkelberger going to be to the inside of Del Mears entering turn 1. And we hear damage and cars wrecked on the infield.
Scott Austin, looks like Scott might have just spun the tires coming to the green flag there on out of turn 4. And he
unfortunately, number 5 damage caught Carter Langley as well.
Yeah, he just catches Langley on the inside. So Scott Austin just picks up the throttle a little too early, spins across the nose of the of Carter Langley, takes them both to the infield.
So Jeff, we've got a an announcement from, it looks like race control. So that was a situation like earlier, Jeff, you remember, where cars spin to the infield on the front straightaway. iRacing tends not to throw the yellow for that. The yellow ends up being on the 5 car of Tom Scully, who piled into that checkup after that happened and hit the Ian Martin car. Ian Martin spins and collects Scully, and they crash in turn 1.
Yeah, just a checkup there. I mean, that's a checkup with guys just stopping on the front straightaway. Ian Martin kind of the victim in that one.
And no way he can see that. Just the same situation we had last night where Thomas Axel got into Christian Peterson when cars were wrecking in front of him. It's just you can't see through the cars. So when everybody's checking up, the last guy in the line is the one that's not going to see it.
So we are under caution here on lap 101, 25 laps to go, 24 now to go as they cross the line and start lap 102. Jordan Harnish still your leader. So tempers are starting to flare here, and Stafford, it's a short track, and we're seeing a lot of short track racing here. Tempers flare between our drivers. Looking at the chat, Chuck Johnson here cheering for the 78. Aaron Johnson still hanging in there. He's had a rough night. He got turned around at least once tonight, and he's currently back up in the 10th position. So Aaron trying to fight his way back into the front. It looks like we are going to have a single file restart. These guys didn't complete a lap. This double file here at Stafford, everybody's just fighting for the bottom, and it's been a handful for these guys to deal with. So we are going back to a single file restart. They did not complete a lap. Pace car is going to head off the racetrack. Jordan Harnish going to control this start once again. Ryan Dunkelberger in second. Dunkelberger did not get a great restart, and Del Mears is going to get turned coming to the green. Now we are still green. Del Mears struggling to get back on the racetrack. He got turned around. Looks like maybe some contact from Ethan Johnson, but we were still green.
Green flag stays out. Ethan Johnson up to third. Del Mears to the bottom of the racetrack. You might have heard on driver chat. I did. Del Mears he is not unhappy with Ethan Johnson. Ethan Johnson thought he might have turned the 112 car. Basically apologized. We're sideways again in turn 1 as the 98 and the 5 have made contact once again.
And these
figure out what happened here.
These two have been having a problem tonight. And it looks like Tom Scully drove way down the racetrack, missed the corner completely. So the caution going to wave here for incident between the 5 and the 98. These two have been kind of beating on each other this entire race.
As far as I can tell, Jeff, that is Tom Scully's second EOL in the evening. So 2 EOLs on the 5 car means that he will get at least an EOL next week to start the race.
So So trouble there for Tom Scully, gets involved in that one. Ian Martin on pit road trying to repair some of that damage to the 98. He is pretty torn up, and that's a struggle for a guy who came into the race tonight 4th in points. Had to race his way in from the B main, and it has just not gone well for him in the feature event tonight. The guy having a good points tonight, Jordan Harnish, came in tonight 2nd in points, just 7 points behind LP Lazier. He is leading the race right now. And LP Lazier looking back in the field to see where he is at. And he is 13th, so LP trying to fight his way back forward.
Yeah, it'd be a big points situation if he's not able to gain some positions from that 13th spot. He did get those bonus points though, Jeff. That'll help out a lot.
Yeah, those 5 bonus points will go a long way. That's basically 5 positions on the racetrack. So that is a big swing. Those bonus points, we tell those guys, you don't want to sandbag. Those bonus points are so important. Definitely, if you're racing for the championship, you need to qualify well every single week.
The reason we give those out is because we do have a mandatory 6 to 9 car invert. So guys would try to, we know how it is. They do it in real life. They would do it on iRacing. They would try to nail that invert every single week. But the bonus points more than make up for what you might lose in the invert. So if you're able to put the car on the pole, you might start between 6th and 9th position. But huge 5 bonus points that you receive. And if you're able to make it up after that, that's a huge points night.
Yeah, definitely. We saw that last night with Thomas Axum. He set quick time. It was a 9 invert, and then he still won the race. So, I mean, just he earned maximum points. That he had the perfect night.
And remember, Jeff, we will get a drop week after this race. So this will be the point where one of the weeks gets dropped. And we basically will be using the driver's top 4 finishes up to this point in the season. So if some guys aren't having a good night tonight, they can stand on another finish prior to this race.
Well, it'll be a double file restart pace car heading off the racetrack. We've seen Harnish go early a lot tonight. Now it looks like he's going to wait a little bit longer, mix it up on Dunkelberger, and he gets a great restart once again. Here comes Ethan Johnson. Johnson going to try to take away 2nd. Rivard's going to try to slip down there to the inside and get around Dunkelberger for 3rd.
Oh, we are 3 wide through turns 1 and 2. Cade Brown all the way to the apron of that 99 machine. He almost gets tagged by Peter Fisher. LP Lazier, and he does finally get hit by Peter Fisher. Is he going to save the 99? He does. We're 4 wide. LP Lazier is going to be sideways. Carpenter gets hit by, it looked like Austin. Holy cow, that was absolute mayhem. Everybody was trying to get everything they could get in turn 1.
And that was just trouble there. That started on the back straightaway. There was a 3 wide incident. Peter Fisher backed out. The 72 tried to back out of it as well. And he was trying to avoid Peter Fisher. He got up the racetrack. Brad Carpenter, and I think that was Carter Langley in the 5 coming up the inside. They were 3 wide, and just chaos ensued there.
It looked like Peter Fisher just got in the 99, but they shook out. They were fine. And then it looked like Lazier got up the racetrack. Carpenter looks like Carter Langley was on the bottom, so nowhere for him to go. Boy, oh boy, Steven Hassett took a big smash up into the outside wall in turn 4.
Yeah, there was a point there going into turn 3 where Carter Langley, Brad Carpenter, LP Lazier, and Peter Fisher were 4 wide on entry of the corner, and that's just not going to work here at Stafford.
Guys just getting everything they possibly can. Carter Langley was way back, dove into the inside of Brad Carpenter and LP Lazier. But he had the room. Carpenter was up the racetrack just a little bit. Just 4 wide is just not going to work. Race control talking to the drivers at the moment, letting everybody know what's happening on the racetrack. That was a 4 wide situation. Just a lot of really, really hard racing. Guys just getting everything they possibly can. Not anything obvious that can be called on anyone. If we wanted to call it an all-involved rule, about the last 10 cars, but I'll go back. So not much to be gained or lost by an EOL there.
Yeah, just about everybody from the 99 on back was involved in that in some way. Just the whole track got blocked there. I did see AJ Rogers on that restart. He was able to slip up the middle of a deal with Rick Rube, and so Rube actually fell back to the 10th spot. he lost some spots there on that restart. Aaron Johnson actually got a great restart as well, so he's up to 7th in the 78 car.
Scott Austin, he's going to be the next victim of the crazy pit lane here in the 5 machine as he slid through the pit lane and ended up in the grass. There's Kate Green doing the same thing in the 19. A very odd pit lane here at and Scott Austin put it on the trailer. The 5 car done for the evening. He was caught in that last wreck. Great night for the 5 machine as he was up to, I believe, 12th at one point. And just didn't get the finish that he was looking for, but was showing well early. And even late, but last couple cautions not falling his way.
I think we're going to see the pace lights on the truck go off here, and they do. So we're going to have a double file restart. And this will be the first time we see Ethan Johnson on the outside. He was able to get by Dunkelberger, take over that 2nd spot. Last week's winner has worked his way up to the 2nd position. Can Jordan Harnish hold off this guy in the 51, who's been very strong? 2 quick times so far, 2 wins on this season. And now he's going to try to get a 3rd one and maybe 2 in a row here at Stafford.
Yeah, this one's going to be a knockout drag out as we watch the pace truck leave the racetrack. Jordan Harnish been getting great restarts in that 22 machine. And he does it once again. Ethan Johnson going to have to slot down. He has plenty of room. He does so in the 51, so the battle's going to be between those 2 guys for the lead. Big battle right now. We're yellow already as we can't even get to the flag stand.
Just trouble in the back. I think I heard the 31 of Brad Carpenter got turned around there coming to the green, and maybe the 112. Bill Mears just got sideways coming through 1 and 2, and he collects the 31.
Just, I'm speechless on that one, Jeff. I mean, we're 117 laps into it and 47 cautions, and you've restarted the car that many times. I mean, it just goes to show you how tough this race car is to drive. These guys, Delmire's been clean all night long. Unfortunately, he was running up front all night. He's had some issues. He ended up getting turned. It wasn't anybody's fault, just a checkup situation. Delmire's ends up in the back and then just gets on the gas on a restart, and the car turns around on him. It's just a difficult race car to drive. You see that. It's one of the reasons we like racing it here in the zone racing. It is a tough race car to deal with. So you see Delmire's get into the 31, and unfortunately Brad Carpenter not having the night he was looking for, and neither is Delmire's now in the 112.
Yeah, just a tough night for these guys. Just seem to be struggling along, especially on these restarts. The restarts have just been difficult for the guys in the back, and I think a lot of it has to do with the way this track starts here. You're starting really in the middle of 3 and 4, and these guys picking up the throttle in the middle of the corner. It's too much power in the center of the corner. You really need to wait to the straightaway to hammer down on the gas, and they're picking it up because they see the cars in front of them go, and it's just too much too soon.
Yeah, your mind thinks go, go, go like you're at Daytona, and you don't realize you're at Stafford on the outside of a corner that you haven't run all night long. And you have to be careful and just keep the car underneath you. I've been there. I've done it. You have to trick your mind to do, something it's not used to doing. And like you said, Jeff, you hit it. I think you hit the nail on the head. That's what you're seeing tonight.
Yeah, with the outside here, not very strong as well. So nobody's running up there. Nobody's putting rubber down on the top side. So once you get up there, there is a different change in grip between the inside and the outside lines, and it really does affect the way these cars start and restart. And we talk about those marbles that build up throughout all of practice and qualifying and the race, and they're all sitting there in that second groove.
Nobody wants to play marbles.
Definitely not in a race car, you don't.
No. So you're going to get a single file restart on this one, Jeff. That is music to Jordan Harnish's ears. Probably music to Ethan Johnson's ears as well. Jeffrey Varden, that 72 car, he's starting in the 3rd spot. A good run for the 72 machine. Ryan Dunkelberger going to be 4th, and Bladen Edwards all the way up to 5th. Super Zach Owen 6th. Aaron Johnson in 7th. AJ Rogers up to 8th. Baldwin rallied at 9th. And Cade Brown all the way up to the top 10 of the 99 machine.
Yeah, and as you said, Ethan Johnson, he's not going to have to worry about getting to the inside line. He gets to start down on the inside. Jordan Harnish going to take his green flag racing. Got a great start. He's going to gap Ethan a little bit. Ethan's going to have to really dig here. They cut him basically a natural green-white checkered here.
2 laps remaining in this race. As long as we stay green, all they have to do is get to the white flag, and we will stay green for the rest of this event. So 1 more corner, and we will go green. So we're going to come to the white flag, Jeff.
White flag is out for Jordan Harnish. He's looking for his first win of the season. The guy behind him already has 2, and he's trying to get a 3rd. Will Ethan Johnson have anything for Jordan Harnish through 3 and 4?
Jordan Harnish ran a really low line through turns 1 and 2. He was playing the defensive mode as Ethan Johnson going to get to the back bumper. The 22 car moves him as they're going to be side by side off of 4.
To the line there, side-by-side contact. Johnson's going to spin, and Harnish is going to win it by less than 1/10 of a second. That was 7/100ths at the line. Jordan Harnish picks up his first ITZR win here at Stafford. The Maconi setup shot 125.
Boy, oh boy, that got exciting for the last half of the race. Great finish between Ethan Johnson and Jordan Harnish. Congratulations to Jordan Harnish and that 22 machine. But you got to give a shout out to the 51 as he started way back in the field when he was given an EOL about 25 laps into this race, drove all the way back to the front and almost won this thing. Jeff Rivard came home in that 72 machine in the 3rd spot. Dunkelberger solidifies that top 5 as he ended up 4th. Bladen Edwards running from the back to the front in the 72. He finished 5th. Super Zach Onan brought home that 6th position. Aaron Johnson 7th. AJ Rogers 8th. Luke Baldwin 9th. And Cade Brown did make it into the top 10 in that 99 machine. Finished in 10th place.
You're getting to look at the replays there of just how close that finish was. The contact down the front straightaway. Rick Rube ends up 11th tonight. Carter Langley 12th. Ian Martin, Peter Fisher, LP Lazier comes home 15th. Tough night for our points leader there, LP Lazier. Tom Scully the 3rd, 16th. Stephen Hassett, Brad Carpenter, Dell Mears, and Scott Austin, your top 20. Cade Green, Rusty Arthur, Will Jervicki, Terry Bates, Angel Ortega, and Shane Bedford, your 26 starters tonight in the Maconi setup shop 125.
So, Jeff, not the night we were looking for.
It was
definitely the finish we like to see.
Yeah, it was definitely a great finish. We just got to get these guys calmed down a bit, and we've seen it this season with the Challenger Series drivers. They're just a little too aggressive right now, and the penalties are starting to stack up, and we're seeing guys really start to they're finding themselves at disadvantages because they're starting at the rear of the field because they've caused too many yellows. And I think we're going to get to the point where some guys just aren't going to be racing with us.
And Jeff, I know we didn't make picks tonight, but there was a guy on the event poster that you posted, and maybe you were sending subliminal messages. I don't know.
Yeah, we did feature Jordan Harnish this week, and he changed the paint scheme on us, so it wasn't the exact car that we normally see. But yeah, we tried to take a look at the history of some of these drivers and what kind of tracks they like, and try to feature some guys that we think are going to be fast each week. And I think we just nailed it this week with Jordan Harnish.
Jordan Harnish, your winner in the 22 machine. Great racing up front at the end. Well, next week, Jeff, we go to the smallest racetrack on the schedule, believe it or not. It is the Irwindale Inner Quarter Mile. These guys, well, they can find each other a lot on a half mile, Jeff. Imagine how much they're going to find each other on a short track like that.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one for sure. And we've seen great racing at Irwindale Inner. You don't want to think for a second that it's going to be just a crash fest. I mean, we've seen fantastic racing there. So if these guys can get it sorted out, they can calm down a little bit. They can put on a fantastic show. Still a great race tonight. Jordan Harnish, Ethan Johnson, they put on a finish. And we really did enjoy that one. That was a fun one to call. Ethan, he was so close there, less than 1/10 of a second from stealing one on the final lap. He laid the bumper to Jordan, but he didn't hit him hard enough to spin him, and that's what you like to see.
Yeah, ended up making for a great finish. Kind of like the one that, what was it, Ricky Craven and Kurt Busch there at Darlington. That's what that reminded me of. So I'll just say to you, Jeff, have you ever?
No, I've never seen one like that here at Stafford. That's a heck of a run there between both those drivers. And Ethan Johnson, he did it the hard way. He had to go all the way to the rear of the field and fight his way back. And he's starting to look like a guy that could be a championship contender. Jordan and Ethan both. And a great race for Jeff Rivard in third, so he's going to fight his way back up in the points as well. So it's going to be an interesting one as we go to the midway point next week and see how these guys fare. I think we're going to see a really tight points battle all the way to the finish.
Yeah, I agree. We'll see how many guys bring some bruised and battered egos next week to Irwindale Inner, Jeff, and hopefully it'll be a fun week. Like you said, we've seen good racing there before, and we'll have to look forward to it.
Yeah, so make sure you're with us Monday and Tuesday night. Both our series will be back in action. Irwindale Inner. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you for everybody that hangs out with us on Facebook. All the comments, we love it. We love interacting with you guys. Make sure you're following us on Facebook throughout the week for more information about next week's race. And we will be back in action. That is going to be the Shock Eye 12 125 at Irwindale Speedway, 9 p.m. Eastern. Both nights we'll be live on Facebook, live on YouTube. Check us out. Thank you for